Okay, guys, so welcome once again to our second session, right? So this is our second session of this Ready for Saber program. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you for your punctuality. Thank you for your attendance. Good. So before we move on, we focus on our second session itself. The second part of the test. Let's recycle a little bit what we practiced last session. You remember, kind of, what we practiced last session? If not, don't worry. Okay, good, Anna. Don't worry, because right now, first part of this session will be a recycling activity just for you to warm up and just focus on the activities for today. So remember that you're going to be using the chat box, the chat of this meeting, to participate. You can participate all you want, right? Your participation is really important. So remember, through the chat box, okay? So I'm going to be reading, all of your answers. And that way we're going to be interacting, answering the activities and participating in the different challenges today. So let's see. So in the previous session, session 1, what do you remember? So in the chat box, please try to type in one sentence or a couple words what you remember from last session, session number 1. Go ahead. I'm going to be reading. What do you remember? What did we do? What was the focus? Anything that you remember about the activities? Okay, and a good vocabulary. All right. Any specific vocabulary that you remember? Anything else? So what type of vocabulary, or what else can you? Okay, parts of the house. Good. So we practice on parts of the house. We review some of this vocabulary. What else? So only parts of the house, or was it something bigger than only parts of the house? Okay, vehicles, right? We review vehicles like transport, right? Means of transport. All right. What else? Pero todo eso que ustedes mencionan allí, ¿a qué pertenece? ¿De qué se trataba como tal la primera parte? ¿Qué recuerdan? Entonces teníamos partes de la casa, teníamos transporte. ¿Eso hace parte de qué? ¿De qué recuerdan que pudimos revisar la clase pasada, la sesión pasada? Okay, tips to answer. Yes, Anna, also very important, which is part of what we do in these sessions. Tips to answer those sections of the test. Good. So basically, with this vocabulary, remember, guys, we wanted to focus on categories. Remember the categories? So you have the words, you have the definitions, and then you could answer, choose the correct options depending on the exercise. So categories was part of our first session, right? Focusing on categories. So today we're going to recycle. Let's review a little bit about this first session. Let's see. So this is the first part, right? So that was like the category section. And remember that you have some definitions, and also you have the words, right? The list of words that you need to match depending on the definition. So this is just something as very similar to what we did last session. So don't worry. It's just practice. And we can practice here through the chat. You can help me with your answers, all right? Here in the chat. Okay, so let's see. This is the category. And if you look at the vocabulary, we have baseball, basketball, boats, cars, tennis, pool, skate, field. What is it? Sports. Okay, good. Category will be sports. Good, Luisa. So keeping that in mind, keeping that the category is sports, we're going to match definitions and words, right? And vocabulary. So let's go with the first one. You put them on to move on the ground. You put them on to move on the ground. What do you think is the answer here? A second. In the chat box. You put them on. You put them on. Okay, Gustavo, you say skate. Okay, you say skate. Any other option? Thank you, Gustavo. E, tennis. Okay. Remember, guys, remember that in these categories, you always have 2 extra options. In this first category, you have 2 extra options, the ones that you don't use. Okay, so you have to be careful at the moment of matching the definition with the word. Siempre hay 2 adicionales que no tienen relación con las definiciones, así que siempre atentos al vocabulario y la definición. Okay, let's see. Gustavo says G, Luisa E, tennis, Jansen C, boats, boats. Okay, boats es bote. Boots son las botas. Se escribe diferente para que tengan en cuenta, ¿ok? Lo que usamos, boots. Y aquí dice boats. All right? So in this case, in this part, so you put them on to move on the ground, the correct answer would be tennis. Yes, you put on your tennis. Okay? And you move with your tennis. Tú te pones los tenis y te mueves, ¿verdad? Sobre el piso. So that would be tennis. Good. Number 2. In this game, 2 people hit a small ball with a racket. In this game, 2 people hit a small ball with a racket. Okay, I'm sorry. Made a mistake here, guys. Wait. Yes. The correct answer, sorry, going back to the previous one. The correct answer, it is G. Good, Gustavo. It is skate. I'm sorry, because this is the second one is E. Good, Jansen. Thank you very much, guys. Sí, la primera que te los pones y te mueves, sí, es skate, ¿verdad? Porque te mueves, no caminas, te mueves, sería skate. Muy bien. Y la segunda, in this game, 2 people hit a small ball with a racket would be tenis. Muy bien. Yes, that would be E. Thank you, guys. You're very smart. Thank you. Number 3, this is the best place to go for a swim. Sí, Gustavo, I'm sorry, my bad. My bad. Sí, fue mi error. Tú estabas bien, tú lo dijiste muy bien. Era skate, muy bien. No, I'm sorry. It's okay, Gustavo, no. No te disculpes, fue mi error. Okay, so this is the best place to go for a swim. Remember, like swim? What is the best place to go for a swim? The pool. Good, Luisa. Good job. The pool. Yes, very well. Number 4, you bounce, and throw a big ball with your hands. Good, Jansen. That would be B, basketball. You bounce and you throw. Yes, very good. And number 5, people drive them in a great sport. People drive them. People drive them in a great sport. Yes, cars. Good. I mean, in which places, or what is the name of the tournament where you can drive these cars? You know, where can you drive these cars as a sport? Anyone? Where can you drive the cars as a sport? Anybody? You know Juan Pablo Montoya? He drives cars. In which tournaments? You remember? No? Maybe Gustavo, you know? Anyone? So Formula 1, you can actually drive cars. Remember, in la Formula 1, you drive your cars. Okay, that would be one example. Okay, guys, good. So remember that this first category is just finding the correct definition for those words. And remember, there are two extra words that you don't use, so you have to be careful. All right, two extra words. Okay, good, thank you very much. So now let's focus on the second session as itself, right? Let's see. So this is about looking and guess. So van a mirar y van a tratar de adivinar, you know, cuál sería la palabra o cuál sería la definición. So I'm going to show you some images. I'm going to show you some images, and then you can tell me here in the chat box. You can share your answers. Okay, you participate here in the chat box. So let's see. So what does it mean? This is a sign. This is a sign. Maybe, could be familiar for some of you or for all of you. So what do you think it is, Luisa? You think it's an accident? Okay. So is there like an accident? What else? Good. You can just type here in the chat box. What do you think is the answer? So what does it mean? Curve. Okay. Good, Anna. What else? What else do you think is this? Okay. Anyone? Curve, accident. So let me show you. Okay, loss of control could be. This means all of your answers are has to do with this. I mean, are related to the sign, but this specific one means slippery road. Slippery. Road es la carretera. Slippery es resbaloso. Si se fijan en la señal, hay como esa idea de que el carro resbala. You see the lines, como mencionas, Ana, así como losing the control of the car. When you lose control, something similar. Very well. So, slippery road. Slippery, resbaloso, para que lo tengan en cuenta. Slippery. Let's go with the next one. What does it mean? This one's quite easy. What does it mean? Which animal is this? Which animal is this? It's a kangaroo. Good, Anna. So what do you think if you see this sign? So you're driving and you see this sign of this animal. What do you think it means? So kangaroos in other countries, right? But here in Colombia, for example, ¿qué animales podemos encontrar en esas señales? En Colombia, ¿qué señales, qué animales pueden encontrar okay, cows, good, Gustavo, cows. So these animals, some of these animals appear in these signs to do what? ¿Cuál es el propósito de encontrar esos signos con esos animales allí? Si tú vas manejando y tú ves esa señal que un animal, could be an iguana, could be a cow, could be a kangaroo, prevent accidents. Okay, prevention. How can you prevent something here? ¿Cuál es la idea aquí? Tú vas manejando, tú ves la señal, ¿qué tienes que hacer? O sea, te está previniendo. Muy bien, que hay animales, puede haber animales en el camino. ¿Qué debes hacer entonces? What do you have to do then? Okay, you pay attention to the road, and also, very important, guys, you slow down. So you pay attention to the speed limit. Very well, Ana. Speed limit. Debes prestar atención y cuidado con los animales, exacto, manejar con cuidado, límite de velocidad, porque en cualquier momento te puede aparecer un animal de estos y grave. Okay, so the idea is to prevent accidents, pay attention to the road, pay attention to the signs, right? Very important. Okay, good. Let's continue. Let's see. Next one. What about this? This is very, very easy. This is quite easy. What does it mean, this sign? Restaurant. Okay. A near restaurant. Good. Excellent. Pretty easy. All right. Next one. What about this sign? What about this sign? Like a palm tree. It's got to do with the wind, hurricanes. Okay, let's see. Yes, strong winds. It means that strong winds ahead, right? Good. Excellent. Strong winds. Good, Jansen. Very well. Okay, good, guys. What about this one? Another animal, cute animal. Which animal is this? The penguin. Yes, it's a penguin. It's a penguin. Okay, so what does it mean? What do you think this sign means? Let's see. Penguins crossing the road. So once again, we need to pay attention to these signs, the ones that got to do with animals, because I mean, suddenly one of these animals can show up, right? And then you have to be very, very careful, right? Same as you mentioned with the cows. When you're driving, sometimes you see the cows crossing the roads, sometimes iguanas crossing the roads. So in other places, in other countries, so you find kangaroos or you find penguins, as in this case, all right? Good. Okay, so where can we find these signs? In places, right? In places, we find these signs. All right. So the penguins, the slippery road, the restaurant, right? Strong wings, maybe at the beach. So those are places. Those are signs that you can find in different places, right? So in this second section, the second part of this, the second part of the test, the English component, what you guys have to do is to decide in which places you can find the signs, right? So for example, this one about strong winds, you know that strong winds, you know, on the palm tree, etc., maybe at the beach, right? Or if there is a restaurant near, you know that that is another place that you can find, you know, some couple meters ahead. So just you need to decide and make sure that the sign belongs to certain place. So in each question, there are three options, A, B, or C. In this section, is just three options. You just have to choose one. Remember, only one answer. And in this part of the test, it's more about using the language in context, right? It's not only vocabulary and definition like in the first session. This is more like the word, the definition in context, right? So this is a little bit, you know, this is the challenge or the level of difficulty here. It rises, you know, it levels up, right? Because we go, you know, part one, part two, part three, part four. So the challenge is going to be leveling up every time. So the idea is to practice. So let's go ahead and practice. This is how you see. I mean, this is just for you to know, I mean, just to show you the way it looks, this second section in the test. So in one of the columns, you have two columns here. In this column, you have the signs, similar to the ones that I showed you before. So you have the signs. In this column, you have the options, A, B, and C. So all you have to do is read the sign, and choose the correct option, right? And this is how it looks in the test. Así se ve en el test. Oh, it's okay, Jansen. I mean, it's just to show you the design. Solo para mostrarte cómo está distribuida la sección. Ahora vamos a hacer otros ejercicios, ¿vale? Entonces la sección está distribuida así, dos columnas, en una columna encuentran los signs, la descripción de la señal, y en la otra escogen A, B o C, dependiendo del lugar, ¿vale? Vamos a hacer una práctica juntos para que nos demos cuenta. como tips para esta sección del examen, remember, just take 1 minute to read the options. Very important. Always read the options. 30 seconds, because this is not too long. 30 seconds, just read the instructions and the options. If there are images, if there are pictures, try to relate the picture with the place. So try to keep that in mind, the picture with the place, you know. Remember that you need to start with the answers or with the section, the part of the section that you consider easier, right? The ones that you feel like more comfortable and you say, okay, this is what I know, go. Aseguren esos puntos. Recuerden, aseguren esos puntos. No dejes preguntas para contestar al final. Y descarta lugares. Es muy buena técnica. ¿Ok? Estos son como tipsitos. Siempre relacionando la imagen o la descripción de la señal con las opciones. Ayuda mucho y si sabes inmediatamente la respuesta de alguna, márcala. ¿Sí? Márcalas. Ve con lo que te sientas seguro y cómodo, márcalas inmediatamente. ¿Vale? Ok. So let's see. Look, this is one of the examples. Please do not feed the animals. And we have the 3 options. In a station, B, in a cafe, or C, in a zoo. What are the keywords here? ¿Cuáles son las palabras claves acá? Animals, inmediatamente reconocen animals. And feed, feed es el verbo alimentar. Sin embargo, si no sabes qué significa feed, tienes la referencia de animals. Y si solo nos basamos en animals, en una estación, bueno, en una estación encontrar animales o en un café encontrar animales y miren el tipo de animales que presenta la imagen. Son animales silvestres, ¿verdad? Son animales que no necesariamente tienen que ser domésticos. So, out of the 3 options, right, you say, okay, it's a zoo, right? Feed the animals, y esto es muy común encontrarlo en los zoológicos, no alimentar los animales, ¿sí? Que por favor no alimente los animales. Very common sign, very easy to identify. So make sure that you identify the image with the words. Okay, good. Let's go with the next ones. Remember that you can just share your answer through the chat box. Look, let's go with the first one. Let's go with the first one. It says, basketball game this evening at 7. Basketball game this evening at 7. Options: A, at a playground, B, on a street, C, in school. Which place do you think this sign belongs? Basketball game this evening at 7. Okay, so we have Gustavo says A, Jansen Angie in school, C, Brigitte also C. Good. Yes, answer is C. Why not A, at a playground? ¿Qué es un playground? Guys, un playground, y esto puede ser confuso porque si vemos el play, inmediatamente asociamos, ¿verdad? Ah, es un partido, es un partido de baloncesto, jugar, como que hacen esa relación, no está mal, ¿verdad? Esa relación que hacemos del lenguaje no está mal. Sin embargo, playground, guys, playground como tal, es el lugar donde llevamos a los niños más pequeñitos. Un playground es como, es un jardín, por ejemplo, es un jardín para niños. Es un sitio donde los niños juegan. Un párvulos, un jardín. Eso es un playground. All right? Para que lo tengan en cuenta. On a street, okay, remember that we cannot play anything on the street, right? Streets, you know, full of cars and traffic, etc. So the right place here is in a school. Yes, because in school you have the court, you have sometimes you have Coliseum, sometimes you have, you know, the basketball fields right there. So it is easier to play a basketball game right there. Okay, so answer in a school. Good. Let's go with the second. White chocolate balls. White chocolate balls. So we have on a milk box, on a candy box, or on a cake box? Okay, good. That was quite easy, right? On a candy box. Chocolate, chocolate's a candy. Good, very good. Right, guys, pretty easy. Let's go with the next one. Okay, cars for children from 4 to 8. And we have options. A, in a toy room. B, in a computer room. C, in a music room. Okay, so we have Jansen, Gustavo, you say A? Yes, good. In a toy room, because we're talking about cars for children, obviously they have to be toys. No pueden ser carros, vehículos para niños. Deben ser, ¿verdad? Carros de juguete. Muy bien, in a toy room. Computer room, nada tiene que ver esto con computadores. And music, nada nos referencia a la música. So answer would be A. Very well, good. Let's go with the next one. Read the questions and write your answer with black pen. A, on a picture. B, on a bookcase. Or C, on a page. Read the questions and write your answer with black pen. So right here, dice on a picture, en una foto. En una foto. Lees las preguntas y escribes tus respuestas con lapicero negro. En una foto. Sure. I don't think so. I don't think it's on a picture. It's okay. No, that's the idea, to practice. So, vamos descartando. No. On a page. Yes, en una página. Page. On a page. Claro, lees las preguntas, ¿verdad? Tienes una página, lees las preguntas y marcas con el lapicero. On a page. Ok, very well. Good. En una página. Good. On a bookcase. Why bookcase? Un bookcase es como un maletín. Vas a leer las preguntas o, ajá, no es la respuesta apropiada, porque allí no puedes leer preguntas ni marcar. Las preguntas, si algo está escrito, estará en la página, ¿ok? Estará escrito en la hoja, en la página, ¿ok? So that's why that's the correct answer, you see? Good. Let's see. Do not run here. Do not run here. In a street, in a classroom, or in a bedroom. Angie says B. Gustavo says B. Jansen B. Okay, so do not run in a classroom. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. And let's see one more. How do I drive? Eso es muy común. Es una señal, será un aviso muy común. ¿Cómo conduzco? Llama a tal número. How do I drive? So, on a plane, on a bus, on a boat. On a bus, very well, pretty easy. Esto lo encontramos mucho en los buses. Muy bien, excellent. Pretty easy, good, thank you. All right. Please, choose the one you want to read. On a board, on a computer, on a bookcase. Choose the one that you want to read. Escoge el que quieres leer. Choose the one you want to read. En el tablero, en el computador o digamos, en la estantería, la librería. The bookcase. El estudio, que también conocemos como estudio o biblioteca. Okay, on a bookcase. Very, very well. Good. Good, Angie. Good, Jansen. Okay, on a bookcase. Read book. So, esa es la relación. La palabra, el verbo read, de leer, y en la opción tenemos bookcase. Es más fácil hacer la relación. All right. And let's see this one. New toys, green monsters, angry dolls, and black helicopters. In a house, in a shop, or in a zoo? Let's see. Okay, Andrés says B, Gustavo B, Katri B, Angie B. Okay. Good. In a shop. Yes, it's giving you the options, like el aviso de nuevos juguetes, estos y estos y estos. ¿En dónde encuentras ese tipo de avisos? En las tiendas, ¿verdad? Okay, good. And let's see. Okay. So we have, okay, that would be the practice. And before we focus on the challenge of the day, en el reto del día, let's see over here, someone raised the hand. Alguien levantó la mano, creo que Juan. Juan, ¿hay algo que quieras comentar? ¿Alguna pregunta? Me la puedes dejar también por el chat. Cualquier pregunta que tengan o alguna duda, inquietud, me la pueden, ok, Juan, me pueden dejarle la pregunta, la dudita en el chat, ok? Don't worry. Okay, so challenge of the day, that will be reto del día, right? So remember, same as we did last session. So the idea is to click on the link that I'm gonna share. So you just include your information, right? Your name, school, etc. And then you practice with some of the exercises that you have there. Remember, based on the sign, basados, teniendo en cuenta el aviso, respondes, okay? 3 options, A, B, or C. Also, the time. Remember that one of the most important objectives of these sessions is time management, the use of the time to answer these exercises, right? So let's see how much time you need to complete this challenge. So give me a second. I'm going to share the link with you guys. Just to wrap up today's session, thank you very much for taking the challenge of the day. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your participation. Very well. No se preocupen, nuevamente les comento como en la sesión pasada, no se preocupen si al momento de responder la prueba o el reto no tienen el 100% de puntos, ¿verdad? Esto es práctica, es precisamente con estos ejercicios y con los tips que vamos revisando, con la práctica que hacemos y estos retos que vamos familiarizándonos mucho más con la información, con el tipo de ejercicios, con el vocabulario, con lo que se espera que se haga en cada sección del test. Así que no se preocupen, vamos a seguir practicando, todavía tenemos más sesiones adelante. Recuerden, todos los jueves de 8 a 8:50, 9 de la mañana máximo, para poder practicar, ¿ok? Este es un espacio en el que vamos a estar practicando, así que no se preocupen, no tiene que tener perfecta la puntuación, sino vamos a ir identificando qué de pronto necesito repasar un poquito más, entrar a buscar mucha más información. Ustedes tienen acceso en línea a diferentes ejercicios, a quizzes, explicaciones en YouTube. Bueno, ustedes tienen muchas herramientas que pueden utilizar para ir trabajando cualquier dificultad que se les vaya presentando en el desarrollo de los ejercicios. ¿Qué más les comento? Recuerden ser puntuales para el inicio. Igual agradezco la puntualidad de todos el día de hoy. Siempre vamos a estar encontrándonos a través de este link. Recuerden, a través de este link, en este mismo horario, los días jueves. Vamos a revisar ya como para concluir la sección de hoy, final considerations, como retroalimentación. ¿Les parece más sencilla que la sección anterior, un poquito más retadora? ¿Cómo les pareció? ¿Cómo les pareció la actividad del día de hoy? Toda esa retroalimentación es importante de parte de ustedes. Pueden escribirlo aquí en el chat. Sienten que están practicando lo suficiente, sienten que salen de dudas, sienten que pueden practicar más incluso. Okay, los voy leyendo y importante tener en cuenta todos esos comentarios que ustedes hagan. Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye. See you next week.